Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and in this episode, this is an episode I would like to call South Florida is changing for the worse. Um, and I'm gonna tell you why. This yesterday, I just got the most heartbreaking news. If you've seen one of my past videos of the hotspots in South Florida, you've seen the video that I visited the swap shop, which is a kind of like a flea market type um, little place in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And on the property, there were two entertainment places. There was the Thunderbird Drive-In movie theater, and of course Uncle Bunny's amusement park. And it is sad to say, first of all, the movie theater has already closed. It was closed probably like months ago, and I just got the news yesterday through social media that Uncle Bunny's amusement park has closed, and it reads, Uncle Bunny's amusement park has closed. Thank you for all of your love and support for 20 years. And it hurted me to realize that, because I have not been on none of the rides in a while. And if you've ever been to Uncle Bunny's amusement park, Techno Jump was one of my favorite rides. And it all comes down to, there is a rumor out there, alleged rumor, that Swap Shop has been sold off to I'm guessing another a developer. And this is why I say South Florida is changing for the worse, the sad and worse. Let me. The reason why I'm saying that, because Swap Shop, I had a feeling that they wasn't gonna close, like, because earlier this year, if you've I think I did a video this year. Earlier this year, they added a new ride called the Super Sizzler, which is like the Sizzler, if you've ever been to an amusement park, which is the Sizzler. And I was like, they was anticipating this ride for about a few months, like, okay, this ride is coming, this ride is coming. And then, because it replaced the Kamikaze, which was a ride that they had temporarily there. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a temporary ride. It was a ride that they had there, and then eventually they took the ride away. And then they had on their social media that there was a new ride coming, and it was like, so everybody was anticipating the new ride. And then the Super Sizzler, which they call it, which is nothing but the Sizzler, but they call it the Super Sizzler, but it's just a regular Sizzler ride. And they ended up, you know, getting the ride there. And I'm like, okay, new ride here. I never rode the ride. I rode the Sizzler at other amusement parks and, places like that, but I've never rode it at Uncle Bunny's. Techno Jump was the only um Uncle Bunny's was the only place that I've ever rode the Techno Jump, because I know there's a Techno Jump, because if you look at certain YouTube videos, they have Techno Jump in certain amusement parks and stuff like that. But Uncle Bunny's was the only place that I rode the Techno Jump. And they recently just got the Wacky Worm, which was a kiddie coaster. Uncle Bernie's, the reason why I say South Florida is changing for the worse, Uncle Bernie's was the only year-round amusement park in the South Florida area. Let me tell you about South Florida. A lot of things have changed with South Florida within the past 10 to 20 years. First off, you took away one of the best family fun centers out here. If you've seen the video, I did a video a couple of months ago where I talked about Dania Beach Boomers, and they turned it into Dania Point. Dania Beach Boomers closed in 2016 to make way for a new shopping center. And that was one of the largest go-kart tracks in South Florida. Now, I don't know if it was the largest go-kart track in Florida or the largest go-kart track in the United States, but it was one of the largest go-kart tracks in South Florida. Then, of course, you got rid of one of the greatest outdoor flea markets ever, which was the Opelika Highland Flea Market. I don't know if I ever talked about it, but there was a flea market called the Opelika Highland Flea Market, which sits on the borderline of Opelika, the city of Opelika, and the city of Hialeah in Miami-Dade. And last year, 2022, they closed their doors in September. And they made way for a new flea market, which is the Opalaka Indoor Flea Market, which is like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, like less than a minute down the street from the original flea market. But it it coexists with a place called Atlanta Hosiery, which is like a bra and underwear um, store, and they just center themselves on the inside around it. And then you took away one of the best urban flea markets out there, which is the USA Flea Market, which was in the urban area of Liberty City. Um, and then you made a lot of the malls or ghost towns. Like if you've seen my video before, you've seen two of my videos. One of the mall at 163rd Street, which is a ghost town mall, which was a mall that I frequently visited as a little kid. And then also the shops at Sunset Place. You've seen my daytime video, and you've seen my nighttime video of the shops at Sunset Place. And now this, the Uncle Bunny's amusement park. And when I saw it on social media, I was like, no. So it kind of made me think that the swap shop, because a coworker of mine, we was talking about this a while back, and I said, yeah. And she was telling me that the swap shop, because I said I go there not just for Uncle Bunny's. I go there to get, because I always go there for discounts on my personal products. There are locations out there that give you discounts on personal products and stuff, like body wash, deodorant, you can go get, accessories out there for cheap, and then you have restaurants, and of course the kids get to go play on the amusement rides. So when I took to social media yesterday, it broke my heart, and I was like, nah. And then my mom came at me, was like, what's wrong, and I was like, oh, Uncle Bernie's is closed. And my mom really don't know what Uncle Bunny's is, and I said, "Oh, it's the carnival that we took my nephew 2 years back." And my mom has been there with me before, because the swap shop is like a outdoor flea market, and I've taken my mom there before. I've been there several times because I go there and get some of my personal products. And a coworker when I was talking about it, and she was like, "Oh, I heard that the swap shop was being sold off," and she was looking it up, and then she said, "Oh, I thought the swap shop had closed." I said, "No, I've just visited there. I just visited frequently." Then when she looked it up, that's when she was saying that the movie theater, which is called the Thunderbird Drive-In, was closed. And it was funny because I was there about a few weeks ago, preferably last month. And when I went, I didn't see any marquees on, like normally when you go to the Thunderbird Drive-In, you see like the marquee where they'll say which movies is playing tonight and the times. They didn't have none of that up, and they wasn't promoting the movies. And I was like, why is they not promoting none of the movies? What's going on? And then afterwards, that's when my coworker was telling me, yeah, the Thunderbird movie theater they closed it. And I was like, and it made me like, that was the only drive-in movie theater left in South Florida. And I was like, because there were several drive-in movie theaters when I was younger, in my younger years when I was a little kid, but a lot of them had closed, and the only remaining movie theater was the Thunderbird Drive-In movie theater. And I've had so many memories there. I've went there with my family. I've taken dates to that movie theater, and it was like, and to me it was like an historical movie theater because it's been there since maybe the 80s and 90s. And then Uncle Bernie's was there for over 20 years because I've been to Uncle Bernie's several times. And the swap shop was like my hangout spot in Broward because I go there, I can get a nice outfit. I recently, when I last recently went there, I went there to buy a controller for my gaming console. And of course, I went and ate at one of the restaurants, and I got some personal products for the cheap price. And it saddened me that, and then with the closing of the Uncle Bunny's, and I'm like, I don't think Uncle Bunny's was meant to close because they have added a new ride, which was the Sizzler ride, and I was like, they added that ride, and then somebody commented on social media. Um, I'm gonna show you one of the comments. That they was talking about, and they said yeah, I'm gonna look at one of the comments, and it was about I wasn't looking at the comments. I was looking somewhere. Super, unfortunately, was really looking forward to returning to March in Norway, and you know, there was a comment about the the rides was up for sale in September, which was last month, and stuff like that. But and because there was like all the rides gone, and then they were saying that the rides was up for sale. But I'm like, you just recently added a ride, so this is why I'm saying South Florida is changing for the worse because there's not much to do. Like Bayside Marketplace, which I haven't did a video of, and you will see a video soon, was one of the spots that me and my family frequently, and they turned that into a ghost town. If you've seen my video about the mall at 163rd Street, you see my video about the shops at Sunset Place, which was another childhood hangout spot for me. A lot of the places in South Florida have dissipated and they're gone. And by you taking Uncle Bunny's amusement park, which was the only amusement park, because remember when Boomers and Dania Beach existed, they had the only wooden roller coaster in Florida, and they had the only roller coaster in South Florida. As far no, Uncle Bunny did have two roller coasters. That they had before they had the Wacky Worm, they had another roller coaster which was a steel coaster, and it was a nice coaster. I rode it. I rode it with my nephew when he was younger. And then they got rid of that coaster to bring the Wacky Worm coaster, and then they had the little Dragon coaster as well too. And there was the only two coasters in South Florida. Because after the closing of Dania Beach, because Dania Beach Hurricane closed way before Boomers had closed, and Boomers closed in 2016, and it's like no, there was, and then remember I told you the story on how it was a 2-hour wait to get on the go karts on the last day of the Boomers closing. There was a 2-hour wait, and everybody was there, and then stuff like that. So it's like you're taking some of our childhood memories away. I mean, I've said this in several videos before. You're taking our childhood memories away, and this with Uncle Bernie's closing, it just now when I visit the swap shop, I don't know. It's like what's gonna be in the area of Uncle Bernie's. The swap shop really getting closed down? That's a question mark. And I did take to social media and told people when I did, send out a message at one of their posts that there is a rumor that the swap shop will be closed. It has been sold off. And so it might be within the next year or two the swap shop will be closed. And I'm like, no, because a lot of these places that I used to frequently visit as a child and as an adult, it's like they're closing for the worst. Like see Boomers and Dania Beach was one of the places I used to go to. The last time I went to Boomers and Dania Beach was when I was back in maybe 2012, 2013 when I was in college with one of my friends. And actually you've seen it's a video that I did, I think at the college I was attending, which was Florida Career College, and it was a video with one of my classmates, and we ended up going to Dania Beach, back in 2013, because back in 2012, 2013, because that was around the time I was in college, and I ended up that was one of my last time going, and it was like wow, like I literally was like stunned over the fact that they closed it, and then that's what made me started taking more interest in going to the Boomers in Boca Raton. And I was like, a lot of the places that I visited is gone. There was a lot of amusement centers, family fun centers that I liked it, and then they closed down. And then there was a lot of places, they've opened up some, they've closed some. It's just like it's like your childhood memory get washed away. Is there any place that that is near and dear to your heart that you used to frequently visit and it got closed? Let me know. You can comment at the bottom of this page. You can also email us because South Florida. Now, the main reason why people come to South Florida is because of the beaches and the sunny weather. Because when you're in New York in December and it's cold, you come to Miami, and Will Smith did a video about it party in the city where the heat is on all night on the beach to the break of dawn. Welcome to Miami, and Benito. I mean, Will Smith did a video because he calls Miami his second home. And when I was a little kid, when I went to a Miami Heat game, when they was at the old arena, and him and Jada Pinkett Smith was there at one of the games, and that was one of my memories. Like, hey, Miami Heat. And I went to a game, and he called Miami his second home. Now I don't know if he actually meant it, but in his song he called Miami his second home. And a lot of people come down here for the sunny weather. Of course, they go to the nude beach, which is the High Nude Beach. If you've seen my recent video that I did of High, you know that I did a video of High Beach. I just didn't do it on the nude section. People go there for the nude. People go there for the beaches. They go to South Beach to go eat and dine and all that and stuff like that. But for me, a lot of people, there are things that you can do, not just the beach. You can go to a lot of these amusement centers. You have a lot of amusement centers here in South Florida. Well, not many as much, because now there are a lot of amusement centers that have closed, and it just saddens me that it happens. So, and when Uncle Bernie said their doors are closing, and I was like, so the swap shop, I think, is because if you do know anything or any information on this, we would love to hear it, because as of right now, there is no information on the swap shop being closed. I just know that there is a rumor that is saying that it's being sold off, and it's probably gonna be probably to next year, because it's already October now, and in about 2-3 months we'll be in 2024, and I'm like, oh my god, like. Because, like Orlando, they have year-round amusement parks. You have Disney World, you have Universal Studios, you have Fun Spot, you have Icon Park, you have all these places to go to. Where is there an amusement park in South Florida? And when I mean South Florida, I mean from the Palm Beach to Miami area, where you can go to year-round to get on an amusement ride. And Uncle Bernie was the spot. And now that Uncle Bernie's has closed, it's like, where do the people go to? And there's a lot of sad people that are going to be missing that, because it's like, this is where you used to take your kids at to have fun. You didn't wait for the Miami-Dade County Youth Fair or the Broward County Fair, or you didn't wait for the South Florida Fair, which is the Palm Beach Fair. You didn't wait for Santa's Enchanted Forest, which is our yearly Christmas theme. And right now we have House of Horror, which is our version of Halloween Horror Nights in South Florida, that Orlando has, which is our version of Halloween Horror Night. You don't wait for these things to come, because they have amusement rides and stuff. When you wanted to, like, House of Horror was our October carnival. From late September throughout October, you go to House of Horror. They have a haunted house, and plus they have amusement rides. Santa's Enchanted Forest, they have changed. Oh my God, Santa's Enchanted Forest. This is our Christmas theme park. Where you get to walk down this path and see Christmas lights and stuff. They, for over 40 years, they was housed at Tropical Park, and then in 2020 they closed due to the pandemic. And then in 2021, they opened up at a new location at Hialeah Park, which is where Hialeah Casino sits. And a lot of people comment that it was worse and it was bad because of the parking and everything. And I took a date there, and it was like the worst ever. And then last year, they ended up moving to a new location in the Dorel Medley area. And it was like, oh my God. And they stayed there. And they changed from their previous location. And the change was, to me, is not good. I liked it, the old original location. And plus, they had some of my favorite rides there. And when they moved to the new location, they got rid of some of the good rides that I liked it and everything. And I was like, no. And I was like, now you're getting rid of one of my favorite roller coasters. You're getting rid of some of the rides I used to frequently love. And I was like, oh, you're changing for the worse. Because they contracting ended at Tropical Park. And I guess they didn't renew it or anything. And now they have it where they moved to the... And it's just a mess down here in South Florida. And for me, it's like, what is there to do on a daily basis? Like, yeah, I go to Dave and Buster's and I go to Boomers and I go to these certain places and go and, you know, have fun. But when your childhood memories, fades away, when the places you frequent as a young kid and the places you frequent as a young adult and the places that you've grown to love have went away, because I never visited Uncle Bernie's as a little kid as much because I was a little kid. When I started growing up as an adult and I started venturing out more, because Uncle Bernie's is in Fort Lauderdale and I live in Miami, and in over 20 years it's been in service. And when I went there, it was like a treasure because I get to go on amusement rides. Sometimes I went with my family, sometimes I went by myself, or I was with somebody, and it's like it was a memory, you know. When the swap shop, back like 20 years, like the swap shop used to have the circus, which was, of course, the Royal Hannaford Circus, and they got rid of the circus because of the liability, because if you've ever been to the circus and if you've ever been to any of these circus performances, that's why they sell tickets and that's why stuff, even though it was free at the swap shop, but if you want to get preferred seating, meaning sitting up close to the ring, it was like $1. So they tell you, and I've seen this at several circuses, then and several like performances at circuses, the insurance companies do not insure circus acts because of the death-defying acts that they perform, and it is a high insurance risk. So the insurance companies do not insure performers. So these performers have to rely on tips and the money they make from wherever they're at, because I'm quite sure the swap shop was paying them to stay there to take care of themselves. Like if something was to happen or get injured, the insurance companies don't pay out because of the high risk that they do. You're doing death-defying, high-flying acts and stuff like that. And if something happens to them, the insurance don't pay for it. So that's why they do it. And then they kick them out because they couldn't have, they didn't have insurance and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I didn't think nothing of it. Then like 20 years later, here comes the amusement park closing, and I was like, oh my God. So it's like things are changing for the worse, and I want to know, what do y'all feel about this? If you have a city in your area that is, that has things that's closed, that's if it's either historical or it was something that you and your family visited now, or if it's something that you visited as a little kid and it is closing or it has closed and it is a memory to you, let us know. Comment at the bottom of the page. You can also email us roundtable00@yahoo.com, because I know there are people out there that have said that some of their favorite childhood memory places have closed, and I know people out there that had places that they used to go to, either now, past or present, and there was some of the places that they loved and they closed for the worst, and it just broke your heart. And this broke my heart to a point where I have to do a show about this. I had to do a show because it's like, where do people go at to have fun? Where do people go at to do things? I know there's places in other parts of cities. I know there's places in New York. There's places in, California, Georgia, Atlanta, DC, down here in Miami, Texas. There are places all over that with childhood memories. Boomers, a lot of the boomer locations in other cities and states got shut down. Like I told you, the company Apex Group, which operated Boomers, they got shut down. A lot of things got shut down to the point where, a lot of people was like, oh, this is where I used to go to as a kid. Oh, this is where I used to take my kids to have fun. Or, oh, this is where, I seen a post where somebody stated that this is where they husband and wife went there for their honeymoon. They said it on social media. I'm going to read the post, and I'm going to read this post that you know they said it was my husband and my first new amusement park together, and we also stopped here before our honeymoon last year. And I was like, and that was at Uncle Bernie's, and I was like, oh my God, this was like where you went at for your your first music or whatever, and this was South Florida's only amusement. Just let me know. Comment at the bottom of this page. Email me roundtable00@yahoo.com. I want to know how you feel about this. Do you have a place that has closed? Was you a frequent visitor of Uncle Bernie's? Do you, I know like this is a YouTube channel, so I know a lot of you may not know about these South Florida locations, but if you did know about Uncle Bernie's, was it one of your favorite spots to go to? Are you sad that it's closed? What do you think about the closing of Uncle Bernie's? What do you feel about it? You know me, I feel devastated when I heard the news yesterday. And I said, I have to do a show about this because this is one of my favorite spots that I used to hang out at. One of my favorite hotspots in South Florida, if you know. And it saddens to say that it has closed. I thank y'all for watching this. Don't forget to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our other videos. Don't forget to check out our hotspots in South Florida, which also includes Swap Shop and Uncle Bernie's Amusement Park. Don't forget to check out our history in South Florida, which is probably included Uncle Bernie's Amusement Park and the Swap Shop, if I haven't put it in there. And if you have a topic that you would like for us to discuss, email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page. This is your boy C Money. I'm about to drown myself in tears. No, I'm not. I'm just joking. But it is a heartbreaking situation to see that this place is closing, and it's one of my places to my dear, dear heart. Rest in peace, Uncle Bernie's Amusement Park. You've given us many, many years of entertainment and amusement to the South Florida community. What will be of you is saddened. You're not moving. To my knowledge, you're not moving to another location. The rides have been auctioned off and sold. I'm going to visit there, and within the coming weeks or so, I'm going to go visit so we can pay tribute to it. And of course, I will have the video here on as an episode, and I will give you now because I did the same thing with the swap with I did the same thing with Sunset Place. I gave you a daytime video, and then I showed you how Shops of Sunset looks at night. And also, I'm going to give you an aftermath of Uncle Bernie's Amusement Park and tell you what it's, how it looks and stuff. All right, this is the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. That's it. Take care. Stay blessed. Stay safe. And hopefully none of your childhood memories are gone like mine. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.